Vinay, Teleo is partnering with Ajax Paving to deploy supervised autonomy at two of their asphalt manufacturing plants in Florida. Why partner with Ajax?
It was a very natural partnership with Ajax. Ajax is one of the largest paving contractors in Florida. They manufacture their own asphalt and they build roads and they pave the way for the future for the state. And because asphalt manufacturing is such a time critical business, where when they build the asphalt, it has to be deployed so rapidly. It is critical that in their operations, in the asphalt plant operations, that they always have a person on the ready, on standby to go and run those machines so they can load their plant. And so when they came to us at Teleo expressing that they would love to have a supervised autonomy solution where they can have multiple plant operators, machine operators sitting across multiple plants, operating multiple machines on different plants. So what this means is that even if at any given point in time an operator is not available, some other operator somewhere else in a different plant of theirs can operate the machine no matter where they're located. And so this ability to digitally control machines using Teleo's supervised autonomy platform is something that would appeal to them significantly.
Ajax is based in Venice, Florida. For our listeners and viewers who don't know, that's right outside of Sarasota. Did they have what's called a Teleo command center? Do they build that at their headquarters for the various different applications where Ajax is, that individual just goes into headquarters and can remotely control or supervise that autonomy in different parts of the state?
Yeah, so the idea is that the machine can be at a job site or at a plant site, and the operating station itself can be located wherever the customer's operations demand it to be. As long as they have a functioning internet connection to that location, they should be able to connect to any machine on their sites.
Is Ajax seeing increased efficiency? Because there's data that's been published in this Bureau of Labor Statistics around 91% of construction firms are having a hard time finding labor. There's other industries, labor is finicky, or you get the hi, I don't feel good today, and the next thing you know, that individual's at the beach. Not saying it's Ajax, but let's be honest, it does happen there. Are they trying to fill in that labor gap? Are they trying to increase efficiencies? Or is Ajax just simply leaning into the future, looking at new technology that can help them grow their business?
I think it's absolutely leaning into the future. As we have mentioned before, Grayson, on your show, what we do with Teleo is we unlock a number of benefits to the customer. And more importantly, we also unlock benefits to the operator. We fundamentally make the operator's job more comfortable and easier. From sitting for 8 to 10 hours a day in a machine and getting beat around as the machine operates, now for the first time, those operators are able to sit in an office-like environment in a very comfortable setting, and they can work for 8 hours, 10 hours a day and not feel the physical fatigue. And what that means is that just this one step from going from operating a physical machine on the site to sitting in an office-like setting would open up the doors significantly to making the job a lot more accessible, being able to attract a wider pool of operators, being able to, even operators who may have a hard time getting on the machines physically, would be able to sit behind our control station and operate the machines comfortably. So there's a very strong operator comfort, operator well-being aspect to this that Ajax is leaning pretty strongly into.
Health benefits. You're unlocking health benefits. We did an episode with Dr. Peter Weiss around the economic health benefits for autonomous vehicles from a cardiac situation and various different health implications. But you're bringing a really interesting use case for us, the construction industry. Think about mental health, distraction. Dr. Rosekind, Mark Rosekind, former NHTSA administrator, has done some really great research from his days at NASA on fatigue research. You're potentially eliminating fatigue, so you're increasing the health of the operator, but you're also making the job site safer because you're eliminating fatigue issues that could come from getting bounced around in that truck. Have you published any research around that? Because it seems that you're increasing efficiency for the operation, you're increasing the health of the operator, and you're also increasing the safety of the job site. Let's just go around the room here. It seems like it's a complete win-win everywhere you look.
We think it's an absolute win-win for sure. I think when we talk about this to our customers, it's a no-brainer for them. A significant amount of incidents that happen on the job sites often are when people are getting in a machine or getting off a machine. And in many ways, we completely eliminate that and have the operator sitting at a control station. So obviously, the person themselves are out of harm's way. And then not only that, but all of the vibration-induced long-term physical issues that operators face all go away. I've heard so many operators tell me that I've spent my entire career in machines and now my back is hurting or my ears are not functioning correctly. And so it's because we kind of eliminate that variable significantly. And add to that the fact that now when you sit behind a Teleo control station, you have way better visibility than you ever would have sitting in a machine. You have no blind spots, so you can see everywhere. And we also have things like a perception stack that automatically flags things that are around the machine. So if there's a person walking in front of you, there's a car or a vehicle next to you or a truck next to you, we automatically flag that and we alert the operator that there's something there. And what that means is we are fundamentally increasing not only the mental well-being and the health of the operator, but also the overall safety of the system.
No more Oxycontin issues with bad backs. You're eliminating that. It's a well-known documented fact with bad backs in the Oxycontin issue. You had the Supreme Court ruling where the Sacklers thing was thrown out today, but that's for a different podcast, for a different individual to take that on. But then if you look at the positive benefits with the mental health, you're increasing the mental health. I never thought about the vibrations, and that's a really good aspect there. Let's get into safety from the sensor perspective. Are your cameras and your sensors looking behind the truck available? Because if you think about it, you have to turn. Okay, I hurt my back. I can't turn around. Well, I'm not going to do that anymore. Are the operators getting a 360-degree view of the truck?
Yep. So we have cameras all around the machine. So at all times, the operators have a full view around the machine. And so there's no blind spots. And what's interesting is when they are reversing in the machine, especially in machines like dozers, we have seen operators turn around and kind of crane their neck to see what's behind them as they're going back. But with this system, first of all, you're always looking at the screen. You're not looking, you don't have to look around. And we change the dimensions of the window that corresponds to the camera. So when you're reversing, your reverse camera is in focus. And so you get a beautiful view of the reverse as you're backing up. And just reversing a truck or a wheel loader is now so simple because it's almost as if you've turned the whole cab around and just driving backwards.
It's impressive. Do you view the construction industry as a growth market for Teleo, just based on the benefits that you described from your side, but then on the construction side, you're unlocking a lot of economic efficiencies for them?
Absolutely. I think so. The construction is the bedrock of modern society. Like everything in the environment around us has been built by humans. From the roads to buildings, and going into the future, I expect the construction industry to continue building the world around us. And equipment operation is a key and a fundamental aspect of that building. And there's millions of people around the world who operate these machines for 8 to 10 hours a day in difficult and harsh environments. And so what Teleo does is gets at the heart of the problem, makes their life easier, makes their life more comfortable, makes the job more accessible, and also allows the customer, the contractor, to make those operations way more productive by eliminating travel to the sites because they can operate long range, by letting operators switch across multiple machines, and by letting a single operator control multiple machines depending on the use case.
Multiple machines, that's a game changer. If it goes back to our theme here, unlocking efficiency. So that's in the Venice, Florida area. South of Venice, Florida is the Naples, Florida area. I believe that you're in an unincorporated area between Naples and Fort Myers. You're operating with Tomahawk Construction. Obviously, Ajax is working on paving and creating asphalt. How is Tomahawk Construction utilizing the Teleo system?
So Tomahawk Construction is another major contractor in the Florida area. And what they're working on a job site in Naples is to clear land. It's a site development project for a housing community, and they're moving many millions of cubic meters of dirt in preparation for that. And the same story applies there as well. They've had a very hard time finding operators to operate those trucks and keep the operations going, to the point where they had mentioned to us that they would park their machines because they could not find people to run those machines. And so with Teleo, the opportunity was for a single operator to sit in their headquarters in Fort Myers, which is about an hour away from Naples, and operate not one but 2 or 3 trucks on their Naples site. And that's exactly how they're using it today, where an operator sitting in Fort Myers, where it's a lot simpler to find operators, a lot easier for them to come to the Fort Myers and operate 40 miles away in the Naples area.
What can Teleo unlock for Tomahawk? It seems that Tomahawk will have the ability to scale as they build more master plan communities around Florida. We've all seen the economic data, the growth of Florida. A lot of houses are being built. I live in Florida. You can see construction everywhere. Does Teleo enable Tomahawk to expand their operations throughout the state to capture that market share?
I think so. Like every customer we've spoken to tells us that there's more work to be done than there are people available to go do that work. Right? So the bottleneck is labor. In Florida specifically, there's so much construction work happening. Again, our customers tell us that they have to turn down jobs because they can't find people to run those machines for them. And I think what a technology like Teleo offers is it basically offers them the ability to scale their operations. That take your best operators and actually have them be way more productive than they are today, And that means that they can take those other jobs and actually go build to the demand that is there in the state.
Both Ajax and Tomahawk Construction are based here in Florida. Why Florida for Teleo? Was it you met at a conference, then you got one deal and you got another deal, and hopefully you're going to get multiple deals. We want to have Teleo throughout the state. Why Florida?
Like I said, there's a lot of stuff happening in Florida right now. There's a lot of construction activity happening in Florida right now. And when there's so much demand for something, we're also seeing that the labor issues get amplified. It's harder to find people to go fulfill that demand. And that's precisely why I think a solution like Teleo is a perfect fit for the state of Florida and for contractors there. And yeah, I mean, it's a great state and the weather is amazing. It's wonderful to be there and work with amazing customers there.
Are there limitations to the types of equipment, the size of equipment that Teleo supervised autonomy solution can be deployed on?
The solution that we have developed is a very universal solution. You want to think of it as, first of all, it's a full stack solution. We go to our customer with a complete solution, not have them purchase something else from somewhere else. And so we provide the retrofit kit that can work across their entire fleet. No matter what kind of machine they operate, from what OEM, from any vintage, our solution can retrofit that machine and make it into a supervised autonomous machine. And then you have the teleoperation stack that allows them to control the machine from their office. And finally, you have the autonomous stack that allows the machines to operate autonomously in the situations that they operate in. And so we go to our customers with this full stack solution and operate across the entire fleet. And the idea is no customer that we have talked to really operates only one kind of machine or one vintage of machine. We have seen that every customer operates a mixed fleet. And so really our goal here was to meet the customer where they're at today and be able to address their entire fleet-wide need, as opposed to enforcing that they will operate only on a single type of machine.
How do you see the supervised autonomy market growing, and what use cases do you see for it going forward?
I'm very bullish about how supervised autonomy is going to grow. I think if you've seen the industry, there's been a lot of work in the last decade or so about trying to build fully autonomous systems. The bet that Teleo made was that the path to full autonomy is one that requires a human to work alongside autonomy. So it is a combination of human and autonomy together that would bring a real product to the market. And that's exactly what we're seeing. When we talk to customers, they really, really like the fact that they can have their own operators supervise those machines so they can have control of how those machines operate and where they operate and what they specifically do. And it's that confluence of human mind and the autonomy software that makes this thing viable and that makes this thing something that is ready to grow with the market today.
What type of training is needed before an individual can operate a Teleo system?
Teleo spends time training the customer's operators, but what we have seen is that when an operator who's already run the machine sits behind our controls, they're able to pick it up incredibly quickly. The setup is very similar. They find the joystick layout, the layouts of the controls very similar to what they are used to in the machine. And then you subtract away all of the bouncing around and all the physical aspects of it. It just makes for a very comfortable experience. And they're able to orient themselves and operate very quickly. For smaller machines, order of minutes, and for larger machines, order of maybe a couple of days.
Scalable. That's the clear denominator. Teleo is scalable, increases efficiencies. What's next for Teleo?
We are on a path where we are seeing a lot of demand for what we have built from customers around the world. And we are on a path to scale our deployments and deploy our machines to whichever contractor has these issues. And so I think it's more about scaling and growing our footprint.
Bottom line, Teleo scaling. We want Teleo to scale in Florida, but we wish that success business to scale across the globe. But we really do want you here in Florida, Vinay. The future is bright. The future is autonomous. The future is Teleo. Vinay, thank you so much for coming on the Road to Autonomy Insights today.
Thank you. It's great to be here.